Now this token could be used to then send push notifications to that device. And to show you a quick demo, I'll just copy that token here. And then back in the Firebase project under messaging, we can click on create your first campaign and choose Firebase notification messages. And on this page, you then can give your message a title like test and some test message as a text, and then choose send test message. And here you can paste in that registration token, so that device token, the token of the device to which the message will be sent. Now, before you click test, make sure that the app is running in the background by simply going back to the home screen, for example. Now, if you click test and you go back to your device, you should see that this push notification arrived here. And if you tap this notification, the app will be opened and you will be taken to the app. And that is, in a nutshell, how you can send push notifications to specific devices by using this token, which you get with help of getToken. Now here we manually copied and pasted that token. Of course, in reality, as mentioned, you would send it via HTTP to your backend and store it in a database there. And then whenever something happens that should lead to a push notification to be sent to a specific device, you would look up that token in a database and send that notification programmatically. And I'll get back to sending push notifications automatically, programmatically later, but that's in a nutshell how you could send notifications. And this does all not just work on Android. You can also test this on iOS, though there, as mentioned, you will need to use a real iOS device, for example, a real iPhone, to test this. So here I connected my iPhone to my Flutter project. And to make sure that running this app with push notifications enabled on that iOS device succeeds, there are a couple of steps you should go through before trying to run this app on a real iOS device the first time. In the terminal, run flutter clean as a first step. This will do just what the name implies. It will basically kind of reset your Flutter project, of course, without losing your packages or your code. Once you ran flutter clean, run flutter packages get to reinstall all those third-party packages. To be safe, you then also might want to run flutterfire configure again to make sure your Android and iOS Flutter Firebase configuration is up to date. Especially for me here, where I changed this bundle identifier for this iOS project, this is a step we should not skip. And now with that configuration updated here, make sure that in your Firebase project settings, under Cloud Messaging, you go to that newly added iOS app and reload this page if you don't see it, and upload your key there as well. So that key file we set up before, with that key ID and your team ID. So make sure you add that here again. And then back in your Flutter project, cd into the iOS folder and run pod repo update in there. Then run cd ... to move out of that iOS folder and run flutter build iOS to build this project for iOS. So to not run it yet, but to prepare it for iOS. And this can take a while. Indeed, it can take very long, up to 10 minutes or so, but wait for this process to finish. And once that build process finished, make sure your real iOS device is connected to your macOS device and you trusted your device on your iPhone. And then make sure that your iOS device is selected here as a target device. And with that out of the way, you can run this Flutter app on this real iOS device. And running this the first time can again take some time, but eventually it should finish and launch the app on your iOS device. And then there we of course must log in. And we then get this permission pop-up where we're being asked for whether we want to allow push notifications or not, which I will of course allow here. And if I now send a new notification, a new test message to that token of my iOS device, and I click test, and I have the app running in background mode, eventually this notification arrives there and I can tap it to open the app again.